Hi, my friends. Welcome to Inside the Minds of Authors. I'm DC Gomez, your host, and also an indie author. I'm thrilled you're joining me today for another fun interview with a passionate author. We're going to kick off this show with an exciting reading, so let's get started.
Hi, this is Raquel V. Reyes, and I'll be reading Chapter 1 from Mango, Mambo, and Murder. Basta, Alma. I told you I'm not doing the show. I accentuated every word with the knife I held in my hand before I stabbed the packing tape and sliced open box number 5 of 48. You're perfect for it. And come on, Miriam. What else are you doing? I narrowed my eyes and glared at my best friend, Alma. ¿Qué es esto? I waved my hand like a hostess showing someone to their table. Is this house going to unpack itself? Porfa. This is not going to take all week. The cooking spot is next Friday. Today is Tuesday. You have a week and a half. It's a short cooking demo on a morning show. Alma shook her pinched hand like a stereotypical Italian grandmother. Except, of course, she wasn't Italian, and neither was I. We're Cuban American. Both cultures talk with their hands. Or in my case, with whatever was in my hand at the moment. I crumpled the New York Post page that wrapped a chip green diner plate before placing it on the stack that was building in the cupboard of my new Florida home. I shook the plate like a tambourine. But I don't cook. You do cook. Your cooking's excellent. Alma, dressed in a sleeveless white dress, stepped away from the mound of newsprint about to tumble off the quartz countertop. This was the most expensive kitchen I'd ever had the luck to possess. The biggest, too. I'm not a celebrity chef. I'm an academic. Find me a job at a university. Do you want to work or work parent? I thought you said you were taking a little time off to be a full-time mom. Roberto wants me to stay home for a year, at least until Manny is ready for school. That makes the Un Mundo morning show super for you. You need to do it. La Tacita is perfect for you. One morning a week and you get a paycheck. Alma raised her shoulders to her ears and flipped her palms out like a voila. But I'm not a chef. I'm a food anthropologist. I felt heat building in my chest. Casi igual. Alma dismissed my protest and checked her phone, which had just beeped a notification. The women's club luncheon is in 45 minutes. Hurry up and get ready already. I told you, I don't want to go. I know it's important to you and your real estate business, but come on, Alma. ¿Qué carajo am I going to do while you're talking bayfront views and terrazzo floors with ladies at lunch? Get dressed. Your mother-in-law will be here any moment to babysit. You conspired with my mother-in-law? That's a cardinal sin. Amiga, you gave me no choice. This town works on connections. If you want Manny to get into the best school, then you need to be nice to the women that run this town. Lo siento, but that's the way it is. Manny is going to go to St. Bridget's. I chucked the empty box into the corner with the others. A cardboard fort was in my son's near future. All the more reason to go to this lunch. The president of the patricians will be there. It's not like when we were little and going to St. Joe's. Any tithing family was guaranteed spots for their children. No. It's who you know and how much money you give to the booster club. Alma looked at me. We'd been best friends since kindergarten. She always made fun of my faces. If a fly crosses your face, it will freeze like that. Wrinkled and puckered is not a good look on you. I threw a wad of used packing tape in Alma's direction. She swatted it away like Serena Williams returning the volley. The ding-dong-dwang of the doorbell had barely finished when my mother-in-law appeared in my unfinished living room. My mouth was faster than my good sense. Did I leave the door unlocked? My tone didn't help either. Well, hello to you too, Marjorie Smith, my husband's mother, poised at the edge of the unpacking chaos like an egret about to peck a lizard from a straw. And that lizard was me. A petite woman with a frosted blonde bob. She wore bright red pedal pushers, a lightweight pink sweater set, and black flats with a metal monogram on the toe. From my little time in Coral Shores, a 1950s timed warp village within the city of Miami, it appeared to be the standard issue uniform of women over the age of 55. The shoes came in all colors, but the brand was always the same. I kicked myself for having stepped into it again and hurried to give my mother in law a hug. I'm sorry for being rude. Hello and welcome. The hug was about as warm as an icicle on a Vermont cabin in February. Marjorie barely tolerated me. Giving her a grandchild was my one and only credit. By contrast, the embrace Marjorie gave to Alma was like butter on bread fresh from the oven. So good to see you again, Miss Smith, Alma cooed. Call me Marjorie, darling. Over the years, you've earned enough commission off me and my friends to put us on a first name basis. They both laughed hollowly. Yes, Alma squeezed Marjorie's upper arm. Thank you for the Fleming referral. Their house is gorgeous. I may already have a buyer for it. Oh, that's good news, dear. Marjorie jangled a set of keys hooked to her hand, making a show of them before slipping them into her pocket. Miriam, please tell me you're not wearing that to the country club. I stuttered like a beater car cranking on an empty tank of gas. She was headed to her bedroom just as you walked in. Alma put her arm around me like I was a lost child. You were asking me for my opinion, right? The bold dress or the light blue suit? What do you think, Marjorie? Understated is always in good taste. Sage advice, I agree. The suit it is. Come along, Miriam. We need to get there in 30 minutes. Alma pushed me down the unlit hall. How did she get a key to my house? I don't know. Alma shrugged and avoided my suspicious stare. Hurry up. She went to the closet and pulled out my one summer weight suit. It had a short jacket that fell just below the waist. I'd worn it to defend my dissertation because it made me look a little like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I had needed all the confidence I could beg, borrow, or steal. One of the professors on my committee was a not-so-closeted misogynist that lumped all Spanish speakers into one heritage, Mexican. You gave her a set. I stripped out of my shorts and NYU t-shirt. Please tell me you didn't give her a key to my house. I didn't give her a key, but that's not to say that she didn't get a set at closing. Caridad, por favor, save me from that bruja. Witch or bitch, she did buy you a house. She bought her son and grandson a house, a bribe to get Robert down here. I was happy in New York. I was in line for a professorship. I heard the whining in my voice. I didn't want to move 3 blocks away from my mother-in-law. I fake sobbed, and Alma ignored me completely. She didn't give me even half of an ounce of sympathy. Ponte las pilas. We should have been there already. Alma twisted the rod on the temporary window blinds. Your backyard demands a pool. I have a guy, best pool contractor in Olive County. I sat on the side of our full-size bed and buckled the straps on my heels. We don't have that kind of money. You don't have it now, but you will soon. My guy has an 8-month waiting list and permits take forever. Trust me, Miriam, you need to get on it. Later. Maybe Manuelito is older. Besides, swimming pools are dangerous with little kids in the house. Kids? No me digas. You're pregnant? Alma looked away from the window and gaped at me. No! I stood up and went to the bathroom to apply eyeliner and lipstick. But Roberto's been dropping hints about Manuelito needing a little sister. I'll go ahead and make the appointment for my pool guy. No, for reals, we can't afford it. Let Marjorie give you the pool as a baby shower present. Like I want to owe her more? No. The down payment and co-signing are bastante. Fine. But you know, Roberto is going to be making the big bucks. I can't believe he took that job. It is so opposite of everything. Whatever. I can't think about it. We're here. We have a roof over our heads. It's all going to work out, right? Yes. Alma said it like duh. How do I look? Can I fool these old ladies into thinking I'm upper crust and not a cubanita from blue collar Hialeah? Dr. Miriam Quinones Smith, you have nothing to be insecure about.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Inside the Minds of Authors. Today, I have the amazing Miss Raquel with us. Hello, madam. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I am wonderful. I am so excited you are here with us because
Let's be honest, cozy mysteries. Oh my God, yes. So let's get started. Tell us, we're going to jump in. Tell us about the story. What is the background? How did you come up with it?
It all came from a single seed. I had this idea of a woman being at a country club luncheon, kind of a women's club country club luncheon. And she's kind of a fish out of water. This is not her regular scene. And then all of a sudden, the lady next to her face plants into her chicken salad. And I was like, okay, that's great. And then, I had to work it back. Okay, well, why did this lady die? And so forth and so on. But I had that opening scene was the seed for this story. And then I always write Latina characters. So the other stuff was just a given. I knew she was going to be probably Cuban American or Puerto Rican because I'm very familiar with both of those cultures. And then I knew it had to be set in Miami. And so then I built everything else kind of around that.
Cozy mystery.
Mhm.
I love it. And then cozy mystery with food, because I'm like, ooh, can this get any better? And a Spanish twist, all sorts of exciting. When you decided to put these characters together, what was your really inspiration? I like that you have the Latina involved. What were you looking for? What did you want them to bring to the page?
Well, I grew up reading cozy mysteries, or sometimes they're called amateur sleuths, sometimes they're called traditional. Those are all kind of like subgenre names from it. And then within cozy mysteries, there certainly is this whole subgenre of culinary cozies, right? I thought Miami has so much to offer. We're a port city. We have so many different cultures that live here. We're considered the gateway to the Caribbean and the gateway to Latin America. I said, wouldn't that be wonderful to talk about all of those things and through food? I'm a little bit like Miriam Quinones in this. I'm not a celebrity chef, I'm a home cook, but I do love food and I do love telling other people about all of the great foods that are here in Miami, all the different cuisines. And so I wanted to make sure that that was in it. And another thing that was important to me is that, growing up, reading all of these traditional mysteries, loved them. I loved the puzzle part of the mystery. I loved that, and especially in cozy mysteries, the setting and the characters are so important. Cozy mysteries are usually a series. And so you fall in love with whatever that setting is. A lot of times there's kind of like craft things that people, I guess it happens at a quilting store or a yarn and crocheting and knitting is behind it and so forth. But through all of this, I never saw someone who looked like me. I never read a character that I could connect with culturally. So it was really important for me. I knew writing representation matters. It was like my mantra, and so in all of my writing, be it in my short stories or be it in other manuscripts, I always wanted to represent someone who looked like me. Now, Latina is kind of an umbrella term, and we could get, really specific on that. I'm going to wanted to represent a Caribbean Latina, you know.
I like the cross between the Spanish and English because it's always very fun.
Mhm.
I'm Dominican, so I can completely relate. I was like, oh yeah, I'm feeling her pain right there. When you were putting your character, you had somebody in mind when you created Marion.
No, not really. I mean, she's, kind of a mismatch of a couple of people. Alma is her best friend, who we heard in the chapter that I read. Alma is very much a type A, and she's a realtor, and she's like a go, 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 go. They're wonderful examples of that. Turn on the Spanish language TV here in Miami, and there's tons of people that I could take with it. Miriam, on the other hand, I really wanted Miriam to be an academic. One, because I think it's important. I think it's important, again, to the representation part, but aspirational. Latinas are underrepresented in higher education. The work to get your PhD is a huge chunk of time. It's also, the money. And so, let's not even go into student loans or so forth and so on. When I was developing her character, it was important for me that one, she's a mom, which you heard reference to in that first chapter also. But I wanted her to be a mom and, right? It's all those other things. And so it was really important for me that she be a doctor, a PhD. since I knew I wanted to focus on cooking, how was I going to mix those things in? So I made her a food anthropologist. I didn't know any food anthropologists at the time. Now I have, because I've had to do, my research and kind of talk to people and so forth. But I wanted her to be an academic because maybe I wanted to be an academic, but didn't get the chance. I don't know. Yeah.
I like that. I like how you bring in the cultural pieces to the table, as well as the fact that we are so much more than just one piece. She's not just a mom. She's not just a professor. I like the fact that she did give up being a full-time professor to move with her family, which is something that a lot of mothers do. Like, what sacrifices are you giving up to
And
do
isn't
these
it
things?
kind of part of our cultura? You know what I'm saying? Like, so focused on family, that what you do, if it's you move from your homeland to the United States to get a better job, to luchar or whatever, there's some of that in there that has to be, I think, it's part of us. And not that Latinidad is all the same, but I do think that the way perhaps we were raised and all of these other cultural elements that are kind of shared is that there's an importance placed on family.
Also, the fact that she doesn't resent it. Sometimes I think when you hear a lot of that, is always like, I move and they owe me. It was more like a move. It was a natural transgression because I was going to be with my family and it was the best for the family.
Yeah.
And we'll make the best of it. So I love that pretty much subtle hint on her part that, yes, she moved, she gave this up. But even if she gave it up, she wasn't very much, I hate him for this, or I'm angry for this. It was more, this is what we do for our family. So that was beautifully well done.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, she does have to, there's a little internal battle going on with her, but I think that that's truthful and realistic about what happens with all of us. It's like, I own the fact that I made this choice and still mourning the fact that I was in line for this professorship. I was this goal, this dream that I had, I kind of have to change it or put it on the back burner. But good things come for her, as happens sometimes in life, when you make a career change. Good things happen to her, and her best friend Alma comes in and gives her this opportunity that turns amazing for her. This opportunity to do a segment on the cooking show, on a morning show cooking.
I'm glad that we all have those friends that she's going to push you, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, Alma's not going to let you sit still. She's going to be like, no, like, we got to go. Yeah.
It is those friends that's going to keep you on the edge of your seat. I was like, I had things to do. Like, this is box that has to get unpacked. She's like, that's great, but we got to go.
Yeah.
You mentioned series. Is this the first in a series?
It is. I'm working on book 2 right now, which will be out the same time next year. So Mango Mambo and Murder comes out October 12th, 2021. And book 2 comes out October, whatever that date is, 2022.
So amazing things for all of our readers is that this is going to be already out by the time our episode airs, because we're airing on the 22nd. So everybody should be able to go and pick it up and get an exciting, all sorts of fun things with this book. So I'm awfully excited.
And it comes out in audiobook too. So I also just want to say that because some people prefer to have audiobooks. So the audiobook will also be available.
You get audiobooks, you get ebooks, you get print, you get a little bit of everything. This is awesome. You mentioned your other works. What else have you done? So let's switch a little gears about that. What have you done?
I'm really lucky. I've got a few short stories coming out in anthologies, actually right around the same time. So like a few days before Mango Mambo and Murder comes out, there's an anthology coming out called Trouble No More. It's from Down and Out Books. I have a short story in it that I'm really excited about. Now, all stories in that book are inspired by Allman Brothers songs. So each author took a title from the song and then, made a story elaborating on it. And mine is Multicolored Lady, is my story in that one. And then in November, I'm in a short story anthology called Midnight Hour by Crooked Lane Books. Is edited by Abby Van Driver. And it is a chilling anthology of crime fiction from 20 authors of color. Very honored to be in that one as well. This one has a little bit of everything in regards to crime fiction. There's some things on the darker side, on the noir side, on the suspense, on the thriller, couple on the Cozy Amateur Sleuth. So it's fun. And I highly recommend that. Comes out in November.
You are one busy lady. Tell us, Raquel, how long have you been writing for?
Forever. I started as a young kid. I did creative writing. I did, poetry and short stories and lit kind of stuff. And then I wrote plays in my 20s. My degree happens to be in theater. So I've been writing since forever. But I don't think I started writing mysteries, focusing on mysteries until I probably, until I had my own kid. I don't know why. Cozies are really great because you read them, you know that there's not going to be a lot of gore in there. You know there's not going to be sexual violence. Children aren't going to be harmed. And I think as a mother, that was comforting. Like I knew what I was getting. I knew I was, and then you get the satisfaction of justice being done and of the puzzle being solved. There was something just very appealing about it. And since I'd read so many of them, I was like, do this. I could shift gears from like doing poetry and literary stuff. And I could move into this genre that I love because I loved reading. I mean, I loved reading it since I was a teen. But when I became a mom, I was like, oh yeah, this is perfect. I really loved knowing what I was getting into. And I think that especially with series like this, there's some comfort in that. And that the next one is going to build on the last one. And yeah, there's something about that.
There's something very secure and safe, and you become part of this family. And you know they're not going to get chopped to pieces. That's kind of big because your main character is not going to disappear into the night in pieces. So I like it. Where do you get your ideas from? You mentioned this brilliant idea for this first scene. Where do they normally come to you?
I honestly don't know. And I've had that question asked to me before. I wish I had a good answer. I have some writer friends who, are super inspired by headlines, of true crime headlines. And then they riff on that or research that. And I'm not, but I will say that I live in Miami. Miami is in Florida, and you should know all about Florida Man. If you're on the internet at all, the wild and crazy things that happen in Florida. And then in Miami has its own special set of crime and a long history of it and all kinds of corruption and scams and so forth. So I just have to say it's just kind of out there in the air, just from where I live.
You have a lot to pick from very easily. So I'm amazed.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like how you take the colorful and turn it into something really exciting. So I'm all into this. Tell us, madam, if you can give an advice to an up-and-coming author, what would you tell them?
I think it's really important to find a group of peers. So it doesn't matter if you're writing horror or science fiction or romance or mystery, whatever you write, or lit, whatever you write, find people who also write that. With the internet, it's super easy. It doesn't have to be local. You know what I'm saying? A lot of groups meet virtually. A lot of groups have listservs that you can be on. But you need to find other writers who are going through the same thing you are, because you need to be able to ask advice from people. You also need support from people. Writing is a very solitary act that you do looking at your screen, and then you're sitting with it and you're questioning all of these things. And you can't necessarily hand that off to someone who is not a writer and ask them to give you a critique back on it. Like, readers and writers are different people. And so if you are writing, find your other writers who will understand your questions and help you answer them, and also give you the support that you need. Because when you give your writing to your family is going to say, this is the best thing I've ever read. Because they love you. Right?
That's pretty accurate. That's pretty much what you're gonna get.
Right? So you do need your writing peers to give you honest feedback. And I'd also say go to writing conferences. You know, I am a co-chair of Sleuthfest, which is a mystery writing craft conference. Of course, I'm going to say go to Sleuthfest, but I would actually say go to any writing conference that you can. And, you know, if anything good came out of the pandemic, it's that a lot of conferences have either gone to hybrid or to virtual. And so you can do that. Getting advice from professionals who are doing this and doing it at such a high level is priceless. You know, hearing their challenges and how they overcame that, priceless. Yeah, I would highly recommend going to, and also going to a conference is networking. And, you know, if you don't have your writing group before you go to a conference, if you've done your conference right, when you leave the conference, you will have your writing group.
That is a very good advice, madam. Absolutely. And anybody who's usually waiting to have a book before they go to a conference, you don't have to. Just go to the conferences.
Yeah. I mean, there's a difference between going to a craft conference and going to like a fan conference. Sure. You know, go to a fan conference and be a fan of these other writers. That's great. But if you want to improve your own writing, if you want to improve your craft, go to a craft conference.
Absolutely. I love it. So, madam, I am so excited for you. Congratulations on this
Thank
release.
you.
It is awesome. It is on my list of books to pick up because I like cozy mysteries. It's all me. But before you leave us, are you ready for a lightning round?
Oh, yes. Hit me.
Easy peasy. Don't think too much about this. So let's go. Hiking or skiing?
Hiking.
Nice. Science fiction or drama?
Science fiction.
Ebook or print?
Print.
Early bird or night owl?
Early bird.
This is a little different. Let's see how you do. If you had a warning label, what would it be?
Loud.
I like. Madam, it is an absolute pleasure having you once again. Congratulations. Do you have any closing remarks for us?
Follow me on Latina Sleuths. I'm Latina Sleuths everywhere. Pick up Mango, Mambo, and Murder.
I was going to ask you, where can we find you before you go?
So I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Facebook sometimes. Not that much. And you can even type in latinasleuths.com and it takes you to my website and all of my links and all of that good stuff.
Fabulous, fabulous. Thank you so much, madam. It is an absolute pleasure. To our listeners, go ahead, follow Ms. Raquel. Pick up the book. If you're a cozy mystery fanatic, you're going to love it. For everybody else, remember, we're going to be back next week with another exciting author. If you would love to continue to support the podcast, follow us on Patreon, patreon.com/author DC Gomez. And I'll see you guys again next week. Bye, everyone.